If I can have your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen, signore e signori, I have the distinct honor of welcoming to the stage His Excellency, Ambassador of Italy, Marco Peronacci.
Buonasera, buonasera, benvenuti a tutti. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dear friends. It is really a great honor and a true pleasure to welcome you at the Embassy of Italy on this beautiful Piazza Italia. You will see the colors, they remind a lot of our nation, for the Italian Cultural Society's annual gala. I've been in Washington for little more than 2 months, but I've already been deeply impressed by the love and enthusiasm for Italy that one can feel in this country. From art to architecture, from cuisine to commerce, from science to education, Italy is indeed experiencing a moment of great popularity and prestige, a kind of luna di miele that makes us particularly proud. And this prestige, this widespread love for Italy, also stems from the commitment and tireless work carried out by Italy's friends, such as the Italian Cultural Society of Washington, which is a trusted and long-standing official, I would say, partner, since it is recognized by our ministry. And let me salute ICS President Francesca Casazza and all the members and the board of directors. But really, I would also especially warmly welcome our very special guest tonight, the 3 Michelin star chef Massimo Bottura. The deep relationship between Italy and the United States extends far beyond diplomacy, trade, and politics, reaching into the human and the cultural dimension that unite our peoples. Almost 20 million people in the US proudly recognize themselves in their Italian roots. Their active and formidable contribution, their family stories, reflect the creativity, ingenuity, and generosity of our nation. Among ICS' many valuable activities, the Italian cuisine has always taken pride of place, being among the most distinctive expressions of the Italian way of life. Cooking and sharing food together, the indispensable and quintessential act of conviviality, of friendship, of relationship building. This night, we kick off the 10th edition of the Week of the Italian Cuisine here in Washington, with multiple initiatives taking place all around the world in the next few weeks. Of course, we want to promote the Italian culinary traditions, our agri-food delicatessen, and the Mediterranean diet. And more importantly, later this year in December, UNESCO may decide to declare Italian cuisine as intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Finally, this year's theme and title, Italian Cuisine Between Health, Culture and Innovation, and From the Earth to Art. And I would say that there is nobody better than our great chef Massimo Bottura that can embody all these components. Allow me to say finally that Italian kitchens are in many ways atelier of artists, not unlike the workshops of the Renaissance, where masters whose genius continues to inspire the world. And so, dear friends, distinguished guests, have a fantastic evening of Italian conviviality. Enjoy Bottura's creation and be inspired. Thanks for coming and buona serata.
And now I'd like to call Francesca Casazza to the stage. And while she's coming up, I would just like to say a word of gratitude because I have witnessed firsthand how many wonderful things the ICS has been doing since Francesca has taken the helm. And so you're really in for a treat tonight. Prego, Francesca.
Buonasera a tutti e benvenuti. Good evening, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Ambassador Peronacci, for your kind words and for allowing us to be here. And heartfelt thanks also to our board of directors and the Gala committee who support us, and thank you for your dedication. This is our most important event of the year, our fundraiser, but above all is one of the many opportunities we have to share something special about Italian culture. Every year we choose a theme for our gala, and we honor Italian figures who embody the excellence on that theme. So last April, I was delighted to have a fantastic weekend in Casa Maria Luigia. And I want to thank Massimo and Lara for accepting graciously my invitation. Thank you for being here. And I'm also looking forward to listen to and meet our award recipients. So it is also your evening. So thank you for being here. Congratulations. And all of you enjoy your evening. You already had the chance to see Emiriolo, our Master of Ceremony tonight. She's an award-winning author. She's a chef, a TV personality, and also Cavaliere dell'Ordine della Stella d'Italia. Emiriolo.
Grazie di nuovo, Francesca. È sempre un piacere esserci ogni anno. And it's such a pleasure and an honor for me to be here every year for this event. It's one of the most important events on my calendar. I believe so much in what Francesca and everybody at the Italian Cultural Society is doing. As His Excellency Ambassador Peronacci said when he was talking, we happen to be enjoying a wonderful time in the world right now to be Italians and to promote Italian cuisine and culture. But it wasn't always that way. Over 100 years ago, when my great-grandparents first came to America, there was no embassy yet. And the social landscape for Italians were very different in this country, as some of you who are Italian Americans in the room might know. But thanks to the promotion of the culture and the language and the cuisine, things have really changed. And so supporting that is also supporting that movement. There's an old Italian proverb that says, "La cucina di un popolo è la sola esatta testimonianza delle sue civiltà," that the cuisine of a people is the only exact testimony of its civilization. And that's true. And so when you celebrate cuisine, you celebrate language, you celebrate the rest of the culture. And if you look at any immigrant community, it's very interesting to see, because it's not only with Italians, but no matter where you come from in the world, the first generation, maybe by the time the second generation starts, they lose the language. The third generation, they start losing the culture. The fourth generation probably lost the language and the culture, but they still remember some recipes. And so the food is what connects us to our heritage, to our culture, to the land, and to each other. And last night I finished writing my 25th book as I was printing out this run of show. And everybody who knows me, thank you. No, this is not the reason. The reason I mention this is because my friends and family and loved ones think I'm crazy. They say, "Why do you always write about the same thing? Don't you think you've written enough?" I said, no. Until everybody realizes how important the power of food is and how each one of us can harness it to be happy and healthy and celebrate our cultures and celebrate one another, we haven't arrived yet. So that's what we're here to do tonight, to celebrate culture, to celebrate one another, and to celebrate all of the gifts that we have. So it's wonderful to see so many people here, so many supporters, so many friends, and of course our sponsors. And so I'd like to call Francesca back up so that we can together thank our wonderful sponsors.
Yes, a round of applause for our main sponsor, Bank of America.
Our platinum sponsors, I'd like to thank the Bank of America. And for the gold sponsors, we have Ferrero, Fincantieri Marine Group, Mediaset Italia, Bethesda Travel, Bright Star Lottery, Friedlander Meisler Law Firm, I see why you gave me these names, and Morgan Stanley Private Wealth Management. Grazie a tutti.
And I want to thank the silver, the bronze, the food and beverage sponsor, as well as our individual donors, highlighted in your programs, in menu on the table. Thank you all for making our work possible. And now let me give you a glimpse of what it is that you are supporting.
Learning Italian goes beyond the grammar and communication skills. It's a journey into the art of our civilization, of our values and creativity and lifestyle. Through our language courses and events, we aim to share the essence of Italy's vibrant culture. We teach the brilliance of our artists, writers, designers, entrepreneurs, and the mastery of our chefs. The Italian Cultural Society of Washington, D.C. was founded by the chair of Italian department in Georgetown University in 1953. And in 1974, the Italian language program was funded thanks to contributions from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with a mission of including Italian in public and private schools and to teach Italian to our community. Within our nurturing environment, we don't just practice the language, we explore history, geography, and the traditions that shape our identity.
Questa sei tu o è la mamma?
Mamma.
Besides in-person courses, people of all ages and backgrounds across the United States come together in our virtual classrooms. In 2018, we expanded our offerings with the establishments of the ICS Music School, providing Italian chorus for children and instrumental music lessons for everyone.
I look so forward to Tuesday nights, which were a lifeline with Annalisa and my classmates.
Italian Cultural Society to me feels like family.
From Dante Alighieri to the slow food movement, from Leonardo to our songwriters, art exhibits, concert, book presentations, and wine tasting, our cultural events cover many facets of our culture. And with us, people find a family who shares the same passion for Italy.
Thank you. We are proud of the growing number of students who follow us from all parts of the United States. And we are proud to create many opportunities for families to expose their children to Italian culture and language. And also to pass along the passion we all put in our job. A round of applause to our teachers, please. Many are here. You want to stand up? 2 years ago, we started the tradition to recognize the hard work and dedication of all our teachers, and in doing so, we choose one to award each year, and this year is Fiorenza Castelli. Fiorenza Castelli is a teacher of children courses, coordinator of our summer camps and kids workshop. We thank her for her professionalism and hard work, and for her positive and engaging personality. Fiorenza, come to the stage. And Cristiano Fabiani, who was awarded last year, will give you your award.
Sorry, I don't have a voice. That's my job. Working with the kids, starting 9 o'clock, finish 4:30.
Yes, she worked so hard that tonight she lost her voice. She worked since 9 o'clock to 4:30 today.
Grazie, grazie.
With the kids.
It's true. Fiorenza really did lose her voice from teaching. I saw her earlier. I haven't seen her in a long time. I said, Fiorenza, it's so nice to see you. She said, I can't talk. I said, how come? She said, because I've been working. And that's her. She is not a teacher. She is teaching. She loves to do what she does. And so for her, it's natural that she would lose her voice from teaching. At tonight's celebration, the Italian Cultural Society is honored by the presence of Massimo Bottura. Before calling Massimo on stage, it's my pleasure to introduce you to our distinguished member and my dear friend, Sara Gay Forden. Sara Gay Forden is a journalist and author known for her definitive reporting on the Italian luxury industry and the dynasties behind the global fashion houses. Based in Milan for more than 2 decades, she chronicled the transformation of iconic Italian brands, including Armani, Versace, Prada, and Ferragamo, from family-run ateliers into international powerhouses. As one of the few journalists focused on the business of fashion, she famously quizzed designers like Giorgio Armani, not only about the season's perfect shade of beige, but about revenues, expansion strategies, and global ambitions. Her work appeared in the Wall Street Journal, Women's Wear Daily, and Bloomberg News. She's the author of House of Gucci, a sensational story of murder, madness, glamour, and greed, a New York Times bestseller that inspired Ridley Scott's 2021 film, House of Gucci, starring Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Al Pacino, and Jeremy Irons. Now based in Washington, D.C., Sara leads legal coverage for Bloomberg News, guiding reporting on the Supreme Court, the federal courts, and the U.S. Department of Justice Department. A graduate of Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies in Bologna, where she studied economics and international affairs, Sara is also knows a true tortellino Emiliano when she tastes one. I would now like to welcome you to the stage, Sara. Thank you so much. And now a few words about our honorary guest, Massimo Bottura.
If you ask me, what do you do every day in Osteria? I think I'm like compressing my passion into edible bites, sitting on centuries and centuries and centuries of history, because my cuisine is deeply Italian, and but filtered by a contemporary mind. What I'm doing with my chefs and the development of all my restaurants, I let them express themselves. It's not about me, but by myself and Massimo Bottura. With my team, we are Osteria Francescana, or Francescana family. The power of hospitality has always been part of my DNA. At one point of your life, when you reach everything, I think it's time to give back. So what we did, we created a no-profit organization called Food for Soul to fight with 2 major goals, to fight food waste and social isolation. We're using the power of hospitality, not like the classic soup kitchen, the tray, go, eat, and go. No. Welcome. Sitting at the long table, sharing a table, having amazing meals. Now, after 8 years, we have 14 soup kitchens in the world, 105,000 volunteers as chefs. We rescue almost 1,000 tons of food, and we transform those surplus food into 3 million meals for people in need. This is Food for Soul.
I'd now like to welcome Massimo Bottura to the stage.
Welcome. The president of Food for Soul is there, Lara Gilmore, my wife.
Welcome, Massimo. Welcome, Lara. We're so thrilled to have you with us tonight. And just before we dive into our conversation, I wanted to round out Massimo's bio because there's so much that he is doing. We want you to be aware. So in addition to Osteria Francescana, which is the 3 Michelin star restaurant, he's also created Gucci Osteria with locations in Florence, Rodeo Drive, Tokyo, and Seoul. Torno Subito started in Dubai and is now also in Miami. Casa Maria Luigia, a one-of-a-kind lodging experience with unique rooms and breakfast and dinner experiences. And then social advocacy, which we saw the beginnings of here in the video, Food for Soul, also includes Tortellante, which is a program to empower people on the autism spectrum through making pasta. He was named a United Nations Sustainable Development Goal Advocate in 2024. He was named one of Time's 100 most influential people in 2019. And he's the author of books, including Never Trust a Skinny Italian Chef, Pane e Oro, or Bread is Gold, and Slow Food, Fast Cars, which is actually also, he's kindly donated to our silent auction. So if you want to make a bid, you will have that opportunity. And also his special aged balsamic vinegar, which you will also find drizzled on your Parmigiano on your plate. Massimo, you are also a mentor and an educator. You share your creative process with aspiring chefs globally. Massimo, you are also a mentor and an educator. You share your creative process with aspiring chefs globally. So in short, here we have a true modern Renaissance man whose work transcends the kitchen and the dining room and becomes a metaphor for how we can approach life itself. So let's dive in. I wanted to start with the whole dynamic between tradition and innovation. And I remember when I first started interviewing in Italy, I had the opportunity to interview Giancarlo Menotti, the creator of the Spoleto Arts Festival. And his dream was to bring together Italian artists who he saw burdened by decades and centuries of great masters who came before them, with American artists who were free, but maybe didn't have the connection with their history. And Massimo, with your cooking, you have really paired the tradition and the deep roots of Italian cuisine with the capacity to innovate. So I wanted to start there and ask you, as you were growing up, learning from your mother and your grandmother, the traditional Italian meals and cuisine, where did the spark come that started your path on innovation?
Thank you, Francesca. Thank you very much to be here. It's like to invite me, and this is very special. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for having me here. If I look at the past in a critic way, especially in Italy, I can immediately focus the best from the past and bring into the future. This is the way you innovate in the future. Looking at the past in a critic way and not in a nostalgic one, you can really define the best from the past. You know, I think immediately about the crunchy part of the lasagna, no? When I cook, I don't cook to fill your stomach. I cook to share emotions. My guests travel from all over the world, you know, and they want to spend time with me, Lara, Casa Maria Luigia, in Osteria, Gatto Verde, all our restaurants. And they want to live with this sense of emotions that I think just Italian cuisine can transfer. Of course, to do this is very simple to say, but it's very difficult to do, especially in Italy. And the beginning was extremely difficult because now everybody talks about Osteria Francescana. But in the beginning, when you ask yourself question, before you were
you were talking about Renaissance man. You mentioned me as a Renaissance man. I was telling you, to me, Osteria Francescana is like a Renaissance atelier. We do every day, we create culture. We are ambassador of our agriculture, farmer, fisherman, cheesemaker, our artisans. We are, attraction, tourism attraction. There's a guy like, he is a very famous Italian art critic called Vittorio Sgarbi that he said one day, Massimo Bottura is more important than Michelangelo. Because every time, there's the most important people in the world, they want to come to Italy. They want, first of all, they go and eat in Francescana, and then they go in Rome and meet the Pope, And, it's a tourism attraction that is not just me, but it's like our cheese company, our wine company, our terroir. That's the way. And training. Imagine that in a moment, such a difficult moment for our industry, we have 1,900 CV in waiting list to come and work with us. And then, now even social gesture, so the social part. Because I think what we did, me and Lara and all the chefs in the world that they decide to come and share with us, it was possible because it was in Milan at the Universal Exposition with the theme Feed the Planet, Energy for Life, but also the idea came from an Italian chef, especially an Emilian chef. Because since we are kids, I remember my mom, she was always whispering in my ears, if you get successful, you have to give back, you have to stay together, we have to help the other, we have to do this. It's a very social place. And when you grow up like that, it's so simple. It comes from the bottom of your heart. You have to help the other, It's time to do something, that is very important.
Let's go into that a little bit further. And you were telling me when we met that how much of an impact your work through the Refettorio program, the food kitchens, has also influenced your work as a chef and your work with Osteria Francescana. How do you see the dialogue between these two parts of your work?
Absolutely. First of all, I think the way we were like involved in all these soup kitchen, because I talk about soup kitchen, but I call them refettori, because I want to, since the beginning, we want to create beautiful places, because with the beauty, as Camus was always saying, with beauty you don't do a revolution, but one day the revolution will need beauty to rebuild. And so to create a beautiful space for people in need, you can rebuild, not just the pride. You can give the second chance in life to these fragile souls. So what we have learned is the power of hospitality. The power of hospitality that we translate into our Casa Maria Luigia. Casa, because it's home. Maria Luigia was my mom, the perfect host. And she was like the way, she was like she always had the door open for the unexpected guest, the refrigerator always full, and everyone was coming. She was ready to serve and give. So we did exactly the same thing in Casa Maria Luigia and make everyone that comes feel home. This is what we decide to do. You have your own music room with 8,000 vinyls, as in our home. You have the kitchen that is always open. You can go, open the refrigerator, get your own tiramisu, make your own espresso, illy, and you put on top, and you eat a tiramisu, and no one is asking you to sign anything, because it's your home. And that's how we love to do, and we love to share these kind of things as our passion, art, music. And we did exactly the same thing in the refettorio. So we involve artists, designer, and architects to create beautiful places, you know, in the most neglected neighborhoods in the several different places in the world, from Sydney to San Francisco. And this was Pope Francis' idea, you know, that he said, Massimo, it's a great idea, but I think it's better not to concentrate on the center of the city, downtown, but we have to go in the periphery, because your idea is pure light, and we have to bring lights in the periphery. And so we went to the most neglected neighborhood in Milan, and we transformed the neighborhood with the light of the refettorio. So this is what we have learned. And from the other point of view, we start this fight for the surplus food that we throw away and we burn it. Because as you know, in the world, we produce food for 12.5 billion people. We are just 7.8 in the world, and we waste 33% of what we produce. In some places, the food waste is 65%. Imagine, you know, and we stress our planet with water, electricity, human capital, and so what we do is like we want to raise awareness with our project using the surplus food, and instead of burning, you know, like transform into meal for the 860 million people. They don't have anything to eat. So this is what we do. And what we have learned that a piece of bread, some bruised zucchini, some overripe tomato can be an opportunity and not some crappy stuff. And in the Osteria Francescana, right now, there is, for the 30th anniversary, we have a tasting menu that is called Miseria e Nobiltà. You know, and what we have done, we have translate all the stories of my grandmother after the Second World War, brought in 2025 and elevate to a 3 Michelin star. And the whole menu start with bread and water. And this is, to me, is something that if I didn't do the refectory, if I wasn't involved in this project, I could never do it.
Well, you know, this was a topic I wanted to touch on, because there is something very special about the ability of Italians to take a moment of difficulty or a moment of crisi. And as we know, the whole issue of food security right now is more pressing than ever in so many parts of the world.
You know, the whole thing starts when our Prime Minister called me and invite me to cook for the G7. And, you know, the first approach was like, you know, I'm very good friend of Stefano Bonaccini, and I'm always, you know, democratic, you know, and everything I do is a social gesture, you know, and he said, I don't care. You have to come. You have to represent Italy. And 5 minutes before the opening of the G7, she called me and she said, Massimo, we have to add another chair at the table. I said, yes, of course, immediately. Pope Francis is joining us. I said, whoa, it's 12, it's 5 to 12, you know, we have to add a table, you know, Pope Francis. And I said, okay, let's do it. But I went in the kitchen and I changed everything, because the menu was come to Italy with me. So it's like 3 days. In these 3 days, there were like, I want all of them experience what is Italy and the cultural biodiversity of every single territory. And so the first course that I served in this event was bread and tomato, because we were in Puglia, And bread and tomato, la bruschetta, no, is like the classic from Puglia. But as soon as outside was like 38 degrees, I don't know how much is that, it's 105, you know, and it was like, I can't serve the bruschetta like that. So we create this ice cream of bruschetta with tomato in different texture and temperature. And we serve as an introduction to the G7, you know, bread and tomato. People think, oh, we're gonna do caviar and also, no, bread and tomato. As soon as Pope tastes the food, she start, you know, like, bravo Massimo, bravo Massimo. And you know, from that moment, everything changed. And the French President Macron, he stand up and he hugged me and he said, incredible, fantastic. So that from that moment, like, you know, everything changed. And that was the first step for the inspiration for Miseria e Nobiltà.
So this also tells us that you have this incredible ability not only to innovate, but to improvise and to respond to a challenge and to think on your feet. How do you do that? Where do you reach when you're looking for that?
You cannot improvise to be a good chef, you know, like, but if you are a good chef, you can improvise, you know.
Yes.
It's something that, you know, you have you connect your mental palette and you see things and, you know, you can transform in 1 second, you know.
The other thing that comes across is your just charismatic positivity, but also your playfulness. And you're doing a really tough job in high pressure cooker situations, and yet you have this ability to insert the play and the fun. And we, you know, talk about one of your signature dishes, you know, oops, I dropped the lemon tart. So how do you bring play into this pressure cooker situation?
We were talking about that in the car before because we were driving with the Lamborghini, and you know, in 2018, in 2018, the CEO of Lamborghini was Stefano Domenicali, and he's a very, very good friend. We know each other since a long time. And after we got named, and again, best restaurant in the world, he called me one morning and said, I have a present for you. And I said, okay, where are you? In Casa Maria Luigia. Wait for me, 15 minutes, I'm there. And I saw this white car coming, you know, from distance. And then the more he was getting close, the more I was looking, that was something very special there. And when he arrived, I saw this white Lamborghini as a plate, you know, with this yellow big bucket of colors that crossed the car from left to right, and a big on the front there's oops, and in the back there's Lamborghini upside down, you know, and there's Lamborghini #1 oops, and he said, this is for you. This is present from Lamborghini to you. And you know, he created that car.
That was fantastic. So from the plate to the road.
Yeah, no, but we have. It's very important, you know. Picasso was always saying, you know, I was drawing as Raffaello since I was 13, and he took the whole life to paint like a kid. We cook like kids. Every day, in every moment, we cook like kids, and we have fun, because this is the way. I think the secret of our success is like walk into the kitchen, leaving always a space open for poetry, in which you can jump and imagine to serve in a 3 Michelin star, actually 4, because we got also the Green Star for sustainability. In a restaurant like that, a broken lemon tart. No, that's the secret of everything. But south of Italy is to me is pure poetry, no? Because the lemon tart was all about south of Italy. Was like the bergamot from Calabria, the lemon from Sorrento, the almond from Noto, the lightly salt from the wind of Pantelleria, the capers, you know, all these elements from south of Italy. And to me, south of Italy is pure poetry. And that's why I don't care about if it's broken or not. To me, it's poetry. And that's how I create oops, I dropped lemon tart. And when Taka, my Japanese chef, drop and smash the tart into the plate, I said, Taka, you are a genius. You found a way to express what is this lemon tart. And south of Italy, a smash tart, but my dialogue is with your palate, not with your eyes. So when you taste those capers, it's like the best thing capers in the world.
And that's another example of how you took what potentially could have been a catastrophe and you turned it into something new that has now gone on to be its own thing, and then they made a car out of it. So that's the Italian
No, but
innovation.
the things is that the crazy part is like that in 2020, I thought, I did, that dessert, 12 years before. We were invited in Sydney Opera House to give a speech about creativity, in front of 3,500 people. And we were like talking about that and the lemon tart, or like in New York, they open an art show and Lisa Coley, where Lisa invited the artist to think about a mistake they made in the past and transform into a piece of art. And the art show was called I Dropped the Lemon Tart. Or Michelle Obama and the Obama Foundation with the waffles emoji series for kids. They call me and they asked me to be involved in this and teach the kids how to eat vegetables, how not to be afraid of mushrooms, but also in the egg, episode. And I said, we're going to do the tortellini, I'm going to take you to the tortellante. Tortellante is our project with kids, with young adults with genetic syndrome and grandmothers, the two most marginalized part of the society. And we brought in the center of the society. And they keep tradition alive, And they said, yes, fantastic. But I want oops, I dropped the lemon tart. I said, but no, everybody knows about oops, I dropped the lemon tart. She said, no, you're wrong. Not the children, like the kids of 2, 4, 6 years old. And they have to learn from you that they don't have to be afraid to make mistakes. They have to try and try again. And if they make mistakes is an opportunity. So.
Absolutely. And clearly there were times, I imagine, when you felt like you had failed, and yet the important thing is how you get back up when you've been knocked down.
I failed every day.
So in addition to giving a modern voice to Italian cuisine and being a cultural ambassador, you're also mentoring a new generation of Italian and international chefs. Can you talk a little bit about what you're trying to transmit to them?
This is a big responsibility, but I know I know exactly what I represent, and I try to be very open with them and teach them everything. But first of all, experience and try to make them understand that the most important ingredient for the chef of the future is culture. And so it's very, very important, this. And I push them to study as much as they can, because studying it's deeply important. And another thing that I do exercise every day, not every day, but every week we do exercise with all the apprentices. They come to Modena, and there is an exercise called "Who Are You?" And they have to express with the ingredients that they have and they're left in the pantry of Osteria or Casa Maria Luigia or Gatto Verde or Cavallino, they pick the ingredients and they have to express who they are and where they come from. So sometimes you have the staff meal for all the chefs that, with tacos, but tacos with Parmigiano Reggiano, with prosciutto, with, mortadella, but also suckling pig and, or like India, some crazy preparation or the Korean barbecue or, and this is like a very important part of stage in Osteria. Learn how to express yourself. Then when you're growing and growing and growing, what I do, I give an opportunity to my chef to be a chef themselves. So in all the restaurants that we have in the world, we have several different chefs from all over Italy. And what I do, it's like I let them decide the menu and take responsibility. And this is the way, it's not about me, but it's about them. And this is the way to give them and to make them grow and give an opportunity. We can protect them, but we give an opportunity to Bernardo in Miami or to Mattia in Los Angeles to express themselves. You, Mattia, you are in Los Angeles, getting close with all the farmers, fishermen, cheesemaker, know by name all the farmers in Santa Monica Farmers Market or in Santa Barbara Fisherman's Market. And then act local in the way you buy the ingredients, but think about who you are, where you come from. So in Los Angeles, you eat the pizzoccheri or la polenta, but in a contemporary way. So even in Beverly Hills, you have this kind of food that is deeply Italian, but with a contemporary twist.
Well, Massimo, I think we could go on for a long time, but I'm sure people want to maybe have some conversations, further conversations over dinner. We would love to see you again at Osteria Francescana, Casa Maria Luigi, and we thank you so much for sharing your insights and a taste of your world with us here tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to thank Sara for the brilliant questions and to Massimo for all of his wonderful inspirations that he filled us with today. It would take about 20 years to put together different tidbits from different chefs to learn what we just learned tonight. So there's really a lot of progress and a lot of action going on in Modena, which we're very lucky to hear. Now, I'd like to give you all a chance to bid on the silent auction in case you weren't already aware of it. We'll have some different slides that will talk about it, so please go ahead before it closes out this evening. It's a great opportunity to make a wonderful contribution to the Italian Cultural Society. And I'd also like to talk to you a little bit about our band. We're going to have the Alex Lazzaro Trio, who's going to perform for us, and we'll be back shortly, but for now, buon appetito. I hope you all are enjoying dinner, and soon they'll be serving dessert. But I think we should give a huge round of applause to RSVP Caterers for their wonderful service and meal this evening. And now it's time for the ICS Annual Awards. If I could have everybody's attention, please, for the award portion of the ceremony. We start with the Maria Wilmeth Awards, which awards outstanding students of Italian in public and private high schools where Italian is part of their curriculum. The winners are Giorgio Barro from Duke Ellington School of the Arts, and her instructor, Laura Lodo Motica. Welcome. It's a huge honor. So if you'd like to say some words, congratulations.
Thank you. Ciao, buonasera, mi chiamo Giorgia, vengo da Duke Ellington, Scuola delle Arti. Questa sera voglio ringraziare i miei genitori che hanno deciso di farmi conoscere parte della mia cultura. Ringrazio anche la mia famiglia che ha avuto tantissima pazienza con me e mi ha insegnato come parlare. E infine voglio ringraziare la mia insegnante Laura Motica che con pazienza e 3 anni mi ha aiutato a scrivere, leggere e parlare più meglio. Grazie tantissimo.
Okay, we're gonna come over here with Amy. All right, come on with me. Congratulations. Come right down and then stand right here.
And next, I'd like to award Adama Carva from Eleanor Roosevelt High School and her instructor, Francesca Minisola.
Buonasera signore e signori, mi chiamo Adama Carbo e frequento il liceo Eleanor Roosevelt. Prima di tutto vorrei ringraziare Gesù Cristo per avermi benedetto infinitamente e la mia famiglia per il suo sostegno. Inoltre vorrei ringraziare la giuria del Maria Giorera Wilmette Award per aver riconosciuto il mio umorismo e aver visto qualcosa di speciale nel mio video. È buffo che al primo anno la ragione che mi ha spinto a scegliere l'italiano fosse uno show chiamato From Scratch, ma ciò che mi ha davvero fatto restare la professoressa Minisola. La professoressa Minisola ha incoraggiato il mio interesse per l'architettura invitandomi al viaggio estivo con la sua classe di italiano in Italia. Anche se purtroppo non ho potuto partecipare a causa di motivi economici. Tuttavia ha coltivato che seme fornendomi informazioni sullo studio all'estero, condividendo questionari con i suoi studenti e semplicemente credendo in me. Fin da piccola avevo l'obiettivo di costruire case stabili, durature e ricche di creatività. Questo perché la mia casa in Sierra Leone è crollata nel mezzo della notte. Quell'esperienza quasi mortale ha piantato in me un seme per servire e aiutare gli altri attraverso il mio dono artistico. Ho scoperto che l'Italia è uno dei passi noti per costruire strutture che restano alla prova del tempo. Allo stesso modo voglio che il mio studio dell'italiano duri. Grazie.
Let's take a picture. And then we're gonna bring her down. Perfect. You're gonna come right down the stage. Congratulations. Wait right here.
And now I'd like to welcome Rosalind Fuentes and Sean Van Orst from Brookwood School, their instructor Irene Sorensen. I think all of us can remember back to the days when we were in high school, how hard it was to even answer a question in front of the class, let alone get up and speak in front of the class. And these young students are speaking at the embassy. So I do this all the time and I'm choked up. So they really deserve a round of applause.
Buonasera a tutti. Mi chiamo Rosalyn Fuentes. Io vado a scuola a Brookwood School in Kensington. Io sono nell'11° anno. Grazie mille per questa opportunità. Grazie ai miei insegnanti che mi hanno insegnato questa bellissima lingua. Io ho studiato italiano per 3 anni a Brookwood. La lingua italiana è la mia classe preferita. Italiano è qualcosa che mi interessa molto. Mi piace imparare della cultura e il cibo. L'anno scorso ho anche imparato a fare la pasta con la mia professoressa Miss Sorensen, a.k.a. Prof. L'estate scorsa sono andata a Roma per l'anno giubilare. A Roma mi è innamorato di più la cultura, specialmente con la gente che sono accogliente. La mia educazione e il mio viaggio a Roma mi ha ispirato a continuare il mio studio di italiano e mi ha ispirato anche a vivere e studiare lì nel futuro. Ancora una volta, grazie per questa fantastica opportunità. Continuerò a studiare l'italiano. Grazie mille.
Buonasera, mi chiamo Sean Van Orsdel. Sono in 11ª classe alla Brookwood School. Ho iniziato a studiare italiano in 8ª classe e voglio ringraziare tutti i miei insegnanti di italiano che hanno ispirato il mio amore per la lingua e la cultura italiana. Voglio ringraziare la Società di Cultura Italiana per avermi scelto per ricevere questa borsa di studio. Sono molto onorato. Il mio sogno è un giorno diventare fluente e visitare Italia. Grazie mille.
This one's for you?
This for you? She first, okay. And then you.
There you go.
Then you.
As you know, the ICS promotes all forms of art and culture, including music. I'm honored to present the first award for excellence in piano, the Matteo Ferrari Award for a high school student showing promise in piano, William P. Sie. He's a student at Richard Montgomery High School and studied piano under Dr. Martin Labizevich. He won first prize in the Kern Foundation Aspiration Award at the 2022 Rosalind Turek International Bach Competition, first prize and best performance of a Chinese piece at the 2023 International Young Artist Piano Competition, and first prize at the 2023 National Chamber Ensemble Young Artist Competition. In 2024, he won third prize at both the Pacific Stars International Piano Competition and the Chopin International Piano Competition in Hartford, Connecticut. Please, William, join me on stage.
Good evening, everyone. It's been a really big honor, to receive this award from the Italian Culture Society. And I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone that has helped me and supported me on my journey so far. Music has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. And it started as something I enjoyed when I was around, 6 and 7. Then became something I took more seriously and eventually opened doors to new opportunities like this one, and like this one. When I was in elementary school, I lived in a small college town, like 3 hours from DC, or 6-7 hours round trip. So I could take piano lessons here in the big metropolitan city. And as all of you know, sitting in traffic on 495 is not pleasant, and it really shapes me in my test of patience, and which has really helped me be a better pianist. And I'm so glad to be here with all of you guys tonight. And what I'll be performing is the Bach Partita. I'll be doing the Prelude and Jig, as well as Debussy Fireworks. Thank you.
I'd just like to remind everybody that the silent auction is still open for a little while, so it's kind of last call if you'd like to make a bid. And as they're serving dessert, I'm going to go ahead and start presenting the Young Scientist Award. So the Young Scientist Award was donated by Professor Emeritus and President Emeritus of the Italian Cultural Society, Ron Cappelletti. Dr. Riccardo Serra receives this award for his accomplishments in neurosurgery, investigating cerebrospinal fluid flow in the brain and developing novel therapeutics for brain cancer and hydrocephalus. Martina, if you'd please like to bring the award for Dr. Riccardo Serra.
Grazie. Grazie.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all for having me here tonight, and thanks to the Italian Cultural Society. we're only as good as the village that brings us up. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the teachers that helped me back in Italy from elementary school all the way up to medical school, and thanks to all the mentors, surgeons, as well as scientists that are currently my mentors here at Hopkins and University of Maryland. I was asked to give a brief introduction to my research as well and what I do on a day-to-day basis. I'm mainly a neurosurgery resident, obviously, so I operate from morning to nighttime. So I thank my wife as well for putting up with my long hours. But then, in my spare time, especially in the morning and at night, I like to look at things that I face in the operating room every day. So brain bleeds as well as traumatic brain injury, and the way the brain interacts with mainly with the blood. Blood that's not in the right spot, in the right space. So the brain is made of different compartments. It's made of brain tissue as well as brain fluid or cerebrospinal fluid. And I specifically look at the interactions between these two compartments and how the inflammatory processes that take place after brain injury can affect the recovery of our patients. And I'm trying to find ways to affect those barriers, bring them back to their origins, to a functional state, and potentially improve their recovery after injury. Thank you again.
And now I'd like to call the winner of the Luciana Montanari Mendola Award. I have the pleasure to invite for the last award, the Luciana Montanari Mendola Award for pianist, graduate student, donated by Silvana De Luca, Kong Dong, pursuing a DMA in piano performance at the Catholic University of America. Among his honorary mention are Clara Schumann International Piano Competition, the Catholic University of America Concerto Competition. He won first prize, the Arden Moore International Music Festival, Piano Group first prize, New York Mendenhall Piano Competition, preliminary round, and the list goes on and on. His professor at the Catholic University of America presented him as an outstanding young pianist from China, one of the brightest, most talented, successful, and respected doctoral students in their school. His piano playing is masterful, full of colors and sensitivity, technical precision, and unique personality. Ladies and gentlemen, Kong Dong.
Good evening, everyone. Buten Sera Tutti. Yeah, thank you. I'm from China, so thank you for this gala. Thank you for this evening, and I'm very glad to get this award. And also thank you for the Italian Cultural Society give me this award. Thank you so much. And also, I want to thank for my piano professor, Dr. Ivo Kachev. He taught me a lot about the good music, meaning how to play the wonderful music during my DMA's studying in here. And also I want to thank for my family, give me the more sports, unconditional sports in the music journey from the bachelor, graduate to here, to DMA. Finally, I want to say thank you for my girlfriend. She's here. She gave me a lot sports about the music, about the life. So also thank you for everybody. Today I will play the Chopin Nocturne Op. 48 No. 2 and the Bartok Romania folk dance. Thank you.
congratulations again to all of our winners. It's amazing to have so much young talent in here tonight. They're truly the ambassadors of our language and our culture and also medicine going forward. Our evening is concluding, and as well as the silent auction, so it will remain open for another 15 minutes. If anybody is interested, there's ICS staff to close and accept payment if anyone is interested. You can further support the ICS by purchasing the orchid on your table. Notify staff for payment. And I would like to give a thanks also to the Gala Committee. Thank you all, and please continue to support Italian culture, cuisine, and all of our shared heritage. Grazie.
Okay, so take your time for the silent auction that will close in 15 minutes, like Amy said. But in the meantime, I wanted to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank Ambassador Peronaci for being here, Massimo and Sara Bottura, of course. Thank you so much. I want to thank RSVP Catering for their job tonight. Thank you. And Carlos Beaumont and his team for the slide and the video and everything. And my colleague Martina Chiara, Marketing and Event Coordinator. Thank you, Martina. Just joined us 1 month ago and she was sul pezzo, come diciamo in italiano. Brava Martina. And our intern, Isabel Carr, and all the wonderful volunteers, Eleonora, Benedetta, Irene, Khadija, Christopher, Abigail, and Brandon. And the Gala Committee, and my friends, le mie amiche, who are always here at the Gala, and my husband, who's always here, and all of the participants of Gala 2025. Thank you.